Here is a freedmen Black American woman sending a profound message to racist immigrants who are mad at Black people choosing not to protest against ICE raids. Check this out.
So other cultures come to this country, and one of the first conversations that they have amongst their people is to avoid the Black people, that the Black people are violent, the Black people are problematic, stay away from the Black people. And when you get here, then you treat us just as such, that we are less than, we are beneath, or that you are better than us. All y'all cultures, all other cultures treat us that way. Name a culture, and yes, Haitians too. Yes. Africans, yes. Mexicans, yes. Latinos, yes. Asians, yes. Koreans, yes. Everybody wants to avoid Black people and paint us in a stereotypical light. Minus the ones who then gain proximity to us and see that we are compassionate, we are loving, we are family oriented, we like to have fun. But when you are not in proximity of us, you run with the stereotype that this society has painted of us. And you treat us as such. Within the Latino community, you don't like that I'm saying what I'm saying. But is it true? Is it true? Is it hard to see yourself and to face those truths now that you're in a hot seat? Is it that? Because I find it really funny how now you guys are going through what you're going through. And all this time, when anybody have made a mistake in a Dominican for Black, I'm not Black. I'm not Black. Nobody wanted to be Black. But y'all want to call upon us now that y'all are in this seat of fire, and y'all want us to put ourselves in harm's way. And you're going to say there's no harm as people protest. When Black people gather, they get fearful because we are powerful. So yeah, we bring our asses out there and it will be met with violence. So yes, I'm telling our people who look like me, because that's the only obligation that I have is to my people. And to unify my people, because society has kept us divided for so long. So me promoting unity amongst my people and telling us, mind your business, that don't got nothing to do with us. It is all facts and all truth. Why the heck will we come out of our safety of our homes to go out in the streets and march and protest when we know that gets nothing? It breeds no results, right? So you want us to get out and do something that we know doesn't work. Y'all watched us do it and y'all seen that it gets no results. And y'all also have seen through history how they treat melanated people. When they get out there and they start protesting, what the heck are we protesting? We are from this country. This is our country. If anything, all of y'all are illegal immigrants to us. Every race that is not an Aboriginal, indigenous to this land. But right now, it just happens to be the Hispanics and the Latinos. And it's unfortunate, but it's not our fight. So me telling my people to stay their asses in the house, focusing on self, focusing on their self-love and their oneness, so that when they look at their left and their right and they see their brother or their sister that looks like them, they will treat them a little differently because of oneness. While y'all are going through what y'all are going through, y'all voted for that man. You made your bed, now lay in it. My people are going to mind our business. We're going to watch. And we're going to focus in on ourselves. This is our land. We are aboriginals to this land. We are indigenous to this land. So my promotion of melanated people's self-love and oneness is not a division. It is a oneness of us. But when you came to this country and you treated us the way you treated us, and don't say that you didn't. Don't say that you didn't. You guys lynched, you guys murdered, you guys killed, you guys threw cocktails, you guys did all of these things to people who look like me. Just for moving into your communities. You treated us crazy. Just because they told you that we were something and you thought that you were better than us. So now that your ass is in the hot seat, you looking for us. Where are we? Where are we? We are where we are safe. We are safe because this is not our battle. So stop looking to Black people as your scapegoat, as your savior. When it's all said and done, you're going to go and spit on us. Get the fuck out of here.
I have traveled and lived in different countries. What I have seen is that many countries, whether they are Latin, Asian, European, etc., racist behaviors are mainly covert actions, activities that are hidden or concealed, or overt actions, activities that are open, more in your face. Years ago, as I was on my journey of learning Spanish language, I used to watch several Spanish TV programs such as Sábado Gigante, Despierta America, 12 Corazones, and Primer de Impacto, etc. While watching these shows through the years, I began to notice that these shows rarely, or if at all, had Afro-Latin people on the shows as host of shows or news anchors. That's when I started looking into the history of Latin American countries. On this Mahogany Culture and Travel channel, I have done a video about the history of Black people in Mexico that you can look at, that speaks further on the ancient history of Afro-Mexicans. Since the 1910 Mexican Revolution, people of African descent in Mexico were largely excluded from official documentation and national identity. In Mexico, there is a popular expression of mejorar la raza, a phrase that is used in Latin American countries, which means improve the race. It implies that you should marry or have children with a whiter person so you'll have better-looking kids. La raza has historically been used to refer to the mixed-race populations, primarily, though not always exclusively in the Western Hemisphere. For over a century, Mexico maintained a racial ideology known as mestizaje, which promoted the idea of a mixed-race national identity that primarily included indigenous and Spanish ancestry. This ideology effectively erased the presence and contributions of Afro-Mexicans from the country's history and identity. It was not until 2015 that Mexico officially recognized Black Mexicans as citizens of Mexico in a national census, acknowledging them as citizens with distinct Afro-descendant heritage. This was a significant milestone, as it allowed for Afro-Mexicans to be counted in demographic data, leading to a greater push for their rights and inclusion in national policies. However, racism and colorism remain major issues across Latin America, including in Mexico, Brazil, Honduras, Venezuela, and other countries. Since the 1970s, California, particularly Los Angeles, has seen repeated tension between the Latin and Black American communities, particularly those descended from U.S. slavery, known as freedmen. While mainstream media often frames the Latino and Black communities as natural allies due to shared struggles with poverty and discrimination, historical and grassroots realities tell a more complicated truth. Dating back to the 1950s, the League of United Latin American Citizens, LULAC, the oldest Latino civil rights organization in the U.S., made strategic decisions to distance itself from Black Americans. During the Civil Rights era, instead of aligning with Black-led movements like the NAACP or SNCC, LULAC sought to elevate the legal status of Latinos by identifying as white in court documents and census classifications. They rejected being grouped with Black people, fearing that association would weaken their quest for inclusion into white America. The organization consistently prioritized assimilation and upward mobility within a white supremacist framework over building a multiracial coalition. Over the decades, freedmen leaders in Los Angeles, such as those from the Black Panther Party and later grassroots activists, tried numerous times to build a meaningful coalition with Latino organizations. From the 1970s into the early 2000s, efforts were made to unite around issues like police brutality, education, labor rights, and gang violence. But these efforts repeatedly failed due to a lack of reciprocal commitment from Latino leadership. Many Latino organizations and community groups, especially in Southern California, either ignored the plight of Black Americans or pursued self-interest without acknowledging the anti-Blackness within their own ranks. The political term Black and Brown Coalition was often used by Latino politicians and advocacy groups to secure support or funding, but rarely followed by actions that genuinely uplifted Black communities. Perhaps the most violent expression of anti-Blackness came not from policy, but from the streets. Beginning in the 1980s and escalating through the 1990s, Mexican gangs in Los Angeles, including Barrio 204, Florencia 13, and the notorious 18th Street Gang, carried out organized campaigns to terrorize and forcibly remove Black families from historically Black neighborhoods such as Watts, Compton, South Central, and Highland Park. These were not random gang conflicts. Federal and city investigations confirmed these were racially motivated hate crimes. Black residents were told they didn't belong, pew-pewette, for simply walking on the sidewalk, and sometimes unalived solely for being Black in a now Latino majority area. This era saw the decline of Black presence in certain areas where they had once been dominant. Many Black families fled to the Inland Empire or out of state altogether, with little to no political or community pushback from Latino leaders on the violence. Racist attitudes weren't limited to gangs. Over decades, several Latino politicians in LA and California have expressed disdain for Black communities. Most notably, the 2022 leaked audio from LA City Council members Nuri Martinez, Gil Cedillo, and Kevin De Leon revealed them mocking Black children, calling them derogatory names, and plotting to weaken Black political power. These weren't fringe figures. They were the elected leadership of the city. Their comments proved that anti-Blackness runs deep in political institutions, even among different Latin ethnic groups. In the police ranks, many Latino officers adopted and enforced the same anti-Black policies and culture long embedded in LAPD, disproportionately targeting Black men with excessive force and racial profiling. These officers often displayed more loyalty to the blue wall than to any notion of Black and brown solidarity. In recent years, the Latin community has suffered aggressive immigration enforcement actions, especially during the Trump administration. ICE raids have torn apart families and deported people who lived in the U.S. for decades. Many Black observers have called this a form of karmic justice, not out of malice, but as a reminder that when Latin communities chose to align themselves with white supremacy, whether in the form of silence on Black suffering, displacement through gentrification, or political disrespect, those same structures turned on them. Black Americans, especially freedmen, warned for decades that racism does not stop with them. But unity cannot be achieved when one side continuously ignores or participates in the subjugation of the other. Tell me what you think about this topic. Hope you find the information in this video informative. Feel free to like, subscribe, share, comment. Thanks for watching.